Greetings, everybody. This is Dani Filth from Cradle of Filth. And you, my friends, you're listening and watching The Dan Chan Show.
I am joined by the legend that is Lord Dani Filth. How are you today, man?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good, good, good. Are you, were you always a Danny, or did that kind of evolve? Because obviously we share the same name per se. So,
I used to be a sperm before this.
come on, were you a Daniel, or did you get Danny like as a kid, or what was it?
I was a Daniel until probably about, I don't know, 13.
Right.
I'm still a Daniel to my mum when she's in the mood.
Yeah, that's usually the case. Usually the case, man. How's
I
things?
haven't been called Daniel for, well, actually, no, that's a lie. The dentist called me it the other day. But besides that,
I'm a Dan. I'm just a straight Dan. So how's things in Suffolk today? All right.
yeah, good. Yeah, I got tattooed by my partner yesterday. So
Oh, really? Yeah, because your wife's a tattooist. Is that great having that at the time, all at your disposal? Can you get an idea and you just want to chuck it on you straight away?
not really. No, it's and also it's quite the opposite. Actually, I get less tattoos done
Really?
because I don't know. I don't know why. It's probably just a thing, like going to less concerts if you date a person in a band.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's just one of those things. I enjoy, and also she's very, very, very fussy so about like what I would have. So, um, yeah,
Got to get over that hurdle. I get you.
got to
So
get over that hurdle. Yeah, I've got an ongoing thing, and it's going to literally probably take the next millennia to get finished. So,
awesome,
um,
awesome. So let's get into the music because you're very soon. In fact, when this is out, the album will be out. It's next week, right? Is it your 14th studio album? Is it 14
it
now?
is allegedly. I
Allegedly, yeah. I
can't
lost
remember.
count.
Yeah,
And
me.
it's the Screaming of the Valkyries. How excited are you to be getting this out?
Very obviously, it's always a monolithic, monumental occasion releasing a record. I don't think people realise how much work goes into a record from its first inception up until the moment it's delivered to the record company.
Sure.
I mean, we actually finished the record a year. No, 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 no. What am I talking about? We delivered it last July.
Right,
Uh,
right. Okay.
subsequent, Subsequently, as much like during the recording, we were on tour a lot, making up for lost time since the pandemic.
Yeah.
Uh, so I'm having to get my like second wind on this at the present because obviously I got bored of it, having listened to it to death in the
Yeah.
summer,
Yeah.
and I've had to revisit it to do the long worth of press that I've been undertaking. I love
Understand.
it. Obviously, it's unusual for me to get second wind on a brand new album because normally you just
Yeah, it's
complete.
old, isn't it? It's if you delivered it like what, 8 months, 9 months ago. It's old now.
Yeah, and you've been working on it for 2 years prior to that.
Christ, Christ. So you've released three tracks, awesome tracks so far. Do you go looking for reviews? Do you to get like a gauge of reaction, or do you stumble across stuff, or do you just kind of avoid all that shit?
Um, Obviously, I enjoy reading what people say, but at the end of the day, I'm not really interested in. It doesn't sway any decisions and that. And you're always going to get the rudimentary. You can't please anybody. So if you go onto YouTube, for example, and check out any of the comments, obviously you get about this much is very very positive, and then when you get to the back end where it's sort of the shit drops to the bottom,
Yeah,
the,
sure.
the usual comments are just like one guy was like, this record sounds awful. I can barely hear the drums. It's like, what the hell? And then, yeah, and then guy, oh, their videos were way better in the 90s. And it's
Oh
like, yeah,
Christ.
we did one video in the 90s and it was like about November 1999.
Right.
Uh, so, yeah, you can't please everybody. And I'm fully aware of that.
Sure, sure, I get that. So after all these years of writing and recording, is the process still pretty much the same for you on the creative side, or how has this evolved throughout the years? I mean, it's obvious technology, et cetera, but how has it evolved more organically for you?
I don't think it has. If anything, it's regressed because we used to be local. When we first started the band, we were all based within 5 miles, 10 miles of each other.
Yeah,
And, so we'd have a rehearsal room. That doesn't happen. We do have a rehearsal room in the Czech Republic,
yeah,
but we're not in the Czech Republic most of the time. We have two Americans in the band now as well. So a lot of stuff is done via Dropbox for a little while
yeah.
until we get together. We nibble away on tours in hotel rooms.
Mm.
Um, then get together again. Yeah, we just take the opportunity, and that's how it works. And it works perfectly. It's just different.
Yeah. And
And I don't think there's not a rule book to it, but otherwise it
no, of
just gets
course.
simpler. You can't really put a time limit on art, I've
No,
found.
of course, of course. And obviously, with people coming and going and new members and that, does that help or hinder? Do you get new ideas as a new band member brings something fresh to it?
Well, yeah, but I mean, it also like it's not quite as brutal as it sounds. People leave. We've only sacked three people very early on in our career,
Yeah,
and uh, the lineup change was instigated by the fact that people left to pursue family lives this
yeah,
time
yeah, yeah,
round.
yeah.
Um, so the two new Americans, whom we had to find very quickly because we couldn't get European visas to turn around in time,
Mm,
were whoever found them had really done their investigative journalism, and they were perfect for the band. So we kept them on. So perfect, in fact, that Zoe's married the other guitarist Ashok
right.
in a wedding in Arizona at the beginning of the year, which we attended, which was amazing.
Nice.
Uh, but yeah, 3 years is a long time. It's like 21 years in musicians.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah, for sure.
suppose.
I understand.
And yeah, when anybody joins this band, they're required to wear numerable hats. So one of them is to contribute equally to the right, well, as much as possible to the writing,
Cool.
and um, and that's what happened.
Nice. So well, you mentioned Dropbox and obviously members all over the world. How, having been in the industry for most of your life, shall we say, or a good chunk of it, how do you feel that tech, internet world becoming smaller has helped or hindered the music industry in general? Because I know you mentioned something about Spotify recently.
Yeah, I don't really want to go into that because it was totally blown out of context what I was saying, and using Spotify as an example was like me using Burger King to describe fast food
Food.
chains.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't have used Bill's Burgers from Ipswich as an example because no one would know what the fuck I was talking about.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't think the problem here is, I mean, as you get older, you supposedly get wiser, and the thing with online streaming platforms is there's always going to be them. It's like if
Mm.
suddenly acorns become the thing, the much sought after commodity. There'll be acorn shops all up and down every road in the country.
Mm.
Uh, and of course, the problem really lies with governments enforcing some kind of legislation, some kind of cap. Well, not cap, sorry, but the other way around. To be honest. And just get better payment for the musicians and whatever streaming platform that occurs that people listen to,
Of
be it
course.
Tidal, Spotify, Amazon, whatever, Deezer,
Yeah.
then the musicians get paid. Because at the moment, I know so many people in big bands, and I'm not going to say who they are because it's not my business to say, who are just contemplating, you know what, during the pandemic, I got a job from home and I'm better off. I see my family. I don't
Mm.
get, I'm not touring Germany in the middle of winter. And I can just do this as a hobby and I still
Yeah.
get to play festivals. And that's happening a lot now.
Because obviously things like obviously recently Ghost, I think, have banned phones, haven't they? And phones at shows as well. How off-putting is seeing a crowd full of
I was actually I went to the Ghost Right Here Right Now filmings.
Oh right,
Uh,
okay.
Amazing buffet. Oh, the gig was okay. Buffet was out of this world. And yeah, that was the first time I was introduced to that whole. Oh,
Yonder
you're
thing.
taking my phone off me? Well, you're fucking not. Oh yes, otherwise you can't have any of the buffet right here.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and they put it in like a plastic
Yeah, the Yonder thing, isn't it? A special
filled.
like seal case sort of thing. But what was it? Because I've never been to a show where Yonder has been involved. What's it like not seeing a phone up in the sky? It must be strange, even as a fan.
I didn't really notice it, to be honest, because I'm not one of those people that sits checking their phones during a concert
Well,
or a
no.
film.
Yeah,
Witness.
I'm with you.
Uh, well, yeah, I don't know how it must have cost them a fortune. I thought they
Mm.
instigated that solely because, well, they were filming a live DVD and they didn't want people posting it
That's I
online.
thought that. Yeah, I thought that as well. To
Yeah,
be
yeah.
honest.
Obviously, they're continuing
Carrying it on.
said, well, that's going to be expensive. You can't maintain that. I mean,
Mm.
we went to America during the COVID period. Like, we just had enough. We were like, we had to get special visas. We had to travel to Ireland to get these very special visas. Um, we put us in the top like 0.5% of people apparently traveling. Did us a good favor actually, but the COVID protocols and the expense at every venue was
Mm.
ridiculous. So can you
Yeah.
imagine the same thing would apply to keeping people's phones, unless, for the venue, or I mean, if you're on a tour and enforce that, you've got to do that in every
Yeah.
show.
Yeah. That's nuts. That's nuts. So, if you don't mind going back in time, do you think a young Danny or Daniel maybe then would believe himself in the early 90s if you told him that the band would still be going like coming up to 35 years later? I mean, is that just something that's like off the charts for you to get your head around?
Um, well, I don't really think about it, so it doesn't.
Right.
Um, yeah, I mean, when you're young, you have a vision, and I dare say many people don't imagine, like, if you're in a band playing in front of two people, they have this grand, you know, vision of playing somewhere like Download or so. At least I did when I was
Yeah.
practicing badminton racket in my bedroom. And we've been and beyond that. And yeah, I guess if I was put back there now, I'd be like, whoa, I even made it to 50. Jesus.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so it's been a full lifetime thus far. And yeah, we're only really starting, to be honest. Yeah, that's a good thing about having fresh blood in the band as well.
Sure.
It also uh, keeps the band railed, and we've got an amazing management company with Des Fafara and his wife. Des is
Yeah.
Coal Chamber
Yeah, of
demo
course.
driver,
Yeah.
one of my
Yeah.
best friends as well, and it's brilliant having him a free thinking, free
Mm,
planning
mm,
um, fellow musician as a manager, because he
for sure.
gets it.
I get that, of course. And obviously, in my own humble opinion, the only extreme metal band that is actually a household name, I would say you were.
What about Domestos?
Yeah, yeah.
Hate that.
As I say, everyone knows. Even my friends who don't like metal know Cradle of Filth, right? I mean, the name is so synonymous with the UK, the scene, and being extreme. They don't know the music, but they know who you are.
Oh, well, that's might be a blight. It might be a good thing.
Yeah, of course. So, with that all in mind, and obviously people who don't know you so much, over the years, what's the craziest thing anyone said about you or the band? Because obviously, controversies surrounding, etc. etc. What's the craziest thing that someone's written about you? And you thought, what the fuck? It's not even true. I wish it was. Maybe I don't know.
Um, well, the common misconception is that I live in a castle in England. I mean, I do have a big house, but it's not a castle. And I remember running during the pandemic. In fact, I decided I was going to run I felt sorry for our roadies
Of
and
course.
our crew, so I started to run this GoFundMe page, and got loads and loads of abuse about, why don't you just give them a vast cut of your enormous wealth, or sell off a part of your country estate. And it's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
I don't get this thing where members of bands are not allowed to make money,
Mm.
or I mean, we're doing a big collaboration with Vetements, which is a huge fashion house. They did a big Parisian collection last year, which hit it off with some buyers. So they're doing a whole, they call it I can't remember what they call it now, capsule,
Right.
Cradle sort of influence designs. And I love this shit. I love this sort of marriage of just complete undergroundness meets pop culture,
Yeah.
uh, in a sensibility that it's not pop. It's
Mm.
just, nothing's changed. And some people don't get it. They think that we're selling out. And also more people think, well, what the fuck? How come you're not allowed to do this? This is the people that drive up to the gigs in Audis and Mercs and that, and
Yeah.
allowed to be whatever they want to be. The
Mm.
bands are not allowed to flourish and make cash
Yeah.
free. And every show you do is taxed heavily by venues, by everything. So
Yeah.
yeah, bone of
Got you.
contention.
Yeah, of course. Now, obviously, that T-shirt. I was going to quickly mention it. Have you ever thought about going one step further than that T-shirt, or could you not go one step further than that T-shirt? Talking about controversy.
It'd be very easy to go one step further in any respect, but that wasn't the aim of it. We just came. Sometimes you get out of bed, the proverbial side, the grave. I see black metal bands unhindered by the common restraint of law.
Mm.
People want a monster, they create a monster, and suddenly they want to pigeonhole it and put it in a little box and say how they should write music, how they should sell shirts,
Yeah.
etc., etc. Well, no, God, you can't do that. Oh my Jesus Christ. It's like, no. Yeah, and like I say, sometimes we get out of bed alongside a proverbial grave and are a little controversial. And bearing in mind this t-shirt was actually created back in 1993.
Yeah, yeah,
1993.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, but yeah, yes, I can imagine now, but it's not going to happen.
Sure. Now, talking of merch, what's your favorite piece of merch over the years? Obviously, merch makes bands a lot of money. You talk about money and how bands have to survive. You got coffee, you got action figures, you got skateboards, offensive t-shirts. Do you have like a mini COF kind of like museum of? Do you keep some pieces to yourself? Do you drink your own coffee?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got somewhere on the fourth floor of this house. I've got loads of
Sorry, what for? Is that the castle, right? Fourth floor of
yeah,
the
that's
castle.
right. One of the turrets next to Rapunzel. Um, no, I do keep a lot of stuff. Yeah, yeah, and we do have. Oh my God, I think it's actually snowing. I believe it is actually snowing, sleeting at least
D March.
in March. Yeah,
Yeah, great. Of
really sunny and then absolutely freezing to boot.
course. I
Um,
left.
yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah, we do have some interesting things. I agree.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
Uh, I don't really know, to be
Of all the
honest.
years, you got a little action figure like, oh, cool, that's so cool. Or maybe
Yeah, the action
you
figures are
sip your
cool.
coffee in the morning and you go, oh, that's me.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
It's the-
um, I don't know. We had some really cool pictures, posters done for us by a company in America with very famous artists and just look amazing.
yeah,
And then the pictures and the print went onto skateboards and what have you. I'm
cool.
still waiting for a print on the side of a Maserati.
Be
And then
nice.
the yeah, I was actually thinking that the other day. If I start like coming up with bigger goods, to try out, then I always get to keep the sample. So we're going
Yeah.
for this. I think we should print on the side of a super yacht. Um, can you run a sample off for us, and then I'll tell you.
I'll sort that out for you, mate. I'll get a mock up done. The other thing was, obviously, do you guys do meet and greets? Do you do that?
Absolutely, yeah.
So what's your opinion of Gene
But
Simmons's 12 grand a day to go and carry his bass around?
no, it's not quite that, to be honest.
It's a bit much though, that
I
surely.
know some people have find the idea of meet and greets a bit repugnant.
No, I think it has to be done.
Well, it's one of those things. Other people, I mean, Europeans usually end up milling around if you're not within a confined venue, like with a tour bus behind a wall or whatever.
Hmm.
They find a tour bus and can, their idea of a meet and greet is being around there about 2 in the morning when you,
Stumbling out. Yeah.
yeah.
So
But no, if people want to, pay for them and come to them, we make them as cool as possible,
yeah.
and they definitely get their money's worth. But it's up to them, isn't it? It's up to
Of course it
anybody.
is. Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. So obviously, sticking with the touring, you do got some extensive touring runs this year, obviously in the States and Europe, etc. Do you still enjoy being on the road as say when you were a young whippersnapper?
I think I enjoy it a bit more now. I used to be quite, at times, not scared of it, but dreading it. I
Okay.
just now, after so many years of doing it and perfecting everything and, making mistakes, we've got such a good crew. I mean, we've got family around us between the management, all
Mm,
the periphery, lawyer, accountants, merch companies, graphic designers.
yeah.
We've been through the shit. We've got rid of weirdos, and we've got the people we want to work with, and
Yeah.
it is like a family. And yeah, it's comforting being around these people
Yeah.
and bouncing ideas off them and what have you. So going on the road is like we book buses way ahead of time. We know exactly what we want. We
Mhm.
Younger bands look up to us and go, God, I don't know how you managed to do it. And it's like, well, yeah, because we know all
Yeah.
the
How to do it.
secret doors everywhere, and
Yeah. 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 I get it.
there's a checklist that you only know because you've done it so many
Of
times of
course.
little things that make the day go easier.
And talking about doing it so many times, the makeup, how long does it, do you get that? Do you do that yourself? The whole stage persona? Does it take some time to get into that zone? How do you prepare for that?
I
The shows
always,
are phenomenal. Your shows have always been phenomenal, man. You know.
yeah, thank you. I always ask for 3 hours, which is sometimes a bit difficult at festivals
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
and with other people around. Festivals, you kind of just sometimes you just go for it. And this is unless you're headlining a massive festival, then you clear the backstage and whatever out. But 3 hours, and it sounds a bit pompous, but that's 3 hours like after dinner, chill out, listen to
Yeah,
music, put the makeup on, warm up, hang out with the band, just have a laugh, go on stage feeling very relaxed.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah, 3 hours is what normally what I
So,
usually do.
so obviously you have great tour bands with you. You've played with so many bands on festivals and stuff. Do you have time to check out new music? And if so, what new shit you checking out? What do you have time for that?
Yeah, absolutely. But the thing is with festivals is you always want to go and see the bands you grew up with and you absolutely love. And it's always the same. You're always playing at the same
Same
times.
time. Yeah,
I
yeah,
miss everybody that I love most of the time.
yeah.
We end up like taking lower billing sometimes because
You want to
nobody,
see the headliner?
well, we do that. Like we did that at Hellfest because we wanted to see Sisters of Mercy. So we moved from a headline slot
That's
to a
cool, man.
support slot so that we could stay on the stage afterwards and watch them.
That's so cool.
Um, we've done that quite a few times. I mean, yeah, some people say, and also, the answer to that is like, well, I thought you wanted to headline. It's like, yeah, that's cool, but I get to see a favorite band, and if not, I'll be in a bubble bath before they're even on
Yeah,
stage.
yeah. Nice. Of course, of course. Now,
I don't know where this bubble bath will be, but I'll be in it.
yeah, of course. So do you still check out new music? You obviously mentioned Sisters and
Yeah,
other
yeah,
headliners.
absolutely. I have people around the world, my little spies, friends who say always check this band out, Worm Witch, check this band out,
Right.
Frozen Soul.
Yeah, got you. What's your most unpopular musical opinion, Danny?
Pink, I can't stand Pink Floyd. I
Really?
hate, yeah, I just there's something about them I just find repugnant, and people are saying about the best, that's concept records like the yeah, it sounds great. I love the light show thing about it. As concept album goes, it's okay. It's fragmented,
Yeah.
and I just hate the fucking people that are into it. They all think they're so cool, and it's like
Yeah.
I can imagine that them those people are Tesla drivers, just
Yeah.
wankers, absolute wankers.
That's funny.
Sorry, it's a
That's
pet
funny.
peeve of mine.
No, I like it. No, I'm with you on that, I think. Now, away from music, what does Danny do to unwind? I know you like to sometimes go to Loftus Road, but I don't think watching QPR can relax you. So what do you do to like just chill out? Is it box sets, reading, writing? What do you do?
I like cinema. I go out to restaurants a lot. Well,
Mhm.
I say a lot. As 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 many as I can do. Maybe once a week, twice a week. I work a lot, so I stay up late working,
Yeah.
and I don't. Just about to move into um, my partner's house for a while. Well, forever. But
Yeah.
we're going to buy a big house between us, but it's a case of being too busy to move at the moment.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm going to have to. It's going to be a case of like round square peg round hole. See how things work. Because I'm a real night owl.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't go till about 3 and work a lot. So because of that, I go away. We go away a lot. We have lots of holidays.
Yeah.
Weekends away. A couple of weeks ago, we went to Florence.
Nice.
A week's time, we're going to Frankfurt, but that's for a big tattoo convention.
Yeah.
She, my partner, is interested in as a
Yeah.
tattoo.
Cool. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, yeah. That's when we went to Brazil last year. Tried to get to spas as well, like that.
Nice. Nice.
But yeah, yeah. Music. I like driving my cars. I like just normal things really because
Sure.
we're so busy most of the time. I
Sure.
don't from collecting stuff
Mm.
and I don't really have any hobbies. I don't go. I used to play football a lot until I
Mm.
so I had to like really did my back in. Um, so I don't actually have any hobbies. It's not like an avid Lego collector or anything like that.
Got you. Got you. Talking of food, what would your death row meal be?
That would have to be a full Sunday roast, with all the trimmings.
What meat though?
I'd go for all meats.
Just everything.
Yeah, I'd go for, like sometimes you go into a carvery and they say, do you want
Bit
this,
of
this,
each.
or do
Yeah.
you want a bit of each? But I'd go for a bit of each, including the vegan substitute as well,
Okay.
because I actually think corn's kind of nice.
Yeah, I agree with that.
If it's your
What?
last meal, you're not going to be bothered if you
Yeah,
eat
you
like
don't bother, are you? What pudding would you have?
pudding.
Yeah.
I'm a massive ice cream fan. Everybody says I'm really boring because I just go through and go, no, too fussy, too fat in Florence.
Yeah, I can believe it.
No, no, no. Ah, they have vanilla ice cream. I'll have
Yeah.
that.
Great, great. Very,
Oh,
very British. Very British. So, what's the most used emoji in your phone?
the most used one.
Emoji, yeah, the most used emoji.
Probably hysterical sign or
Yeah, classic, classic.
horns.
Well, Danny, I've been a guy trying to stifle my Tourette's with this Ed Sheeran thing. I didn't want to mention it. I don't really want to. But just one thing: are we meeting in the middle with Styles? Is it going to happen? And is Ed going full metal? Just a quick answer. I know you've
Uh,
answered this question a million times, probably.
it's done. We've already recorded it. It's just we've got a blast radius around this record, and there's a blast radius coming. Well, by that I mean
Yeah, yeah,
you can't go
yeah.
near it.
Of course.
And another one I think is going to be overlapping ours with Ed, which I don't know what it is, but I presume it's a new record.
Yeah,
So once those clear, then we'll release it.
awesome. Looking forward to that. The world's watching, man, for that one. Well, Danny Filth, an absolute honor to have you on the show, man. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.